Hello everyone, meet Haze, the secret agent of the OSIC's Sandman division. Haze is an assassin-like character who loves to sneak in behind enemy lines, preying on her enemies, seizing opportunities to strike while they are distracted. She also specializes in one-on-one combat, thanks to her ramping physical damage and her sleep-inducing Dagger, aiding her in eliminating opponents with her silenced Uzis, akimbo style. Even while dual-wielding two high fire rate guns, Haze experiences almost no horizontal recoil. However, her weapons do drift upwards quite a bit during the first few shots of sustained fire, so make sure to counteract this by gently pulling your mouse downward if you're going in guns blazing. Haze is also one of the few heroes whose ammo capacity scales with spirit power, gaining 1 extra round for every 2 points of spirit. With Haze's first ability, Sleep Dagger, she throws out a knife that deals 70 spirit damage and applies a sleep status effect to the first enemy it hits. While asleep, the target cannot perform any combat actions, but can move with a 2 meter per second move speed. Sleep Dagger does not interrupt channeling abilities, and sleeping targets are ignored by troopers and buildings. The sleep effect lasts up to 3 seconds if the target is not disturbed. Once applied, there is a 0.2 second grace period during which the target cannot be woken up even if they take damage. If the target is damaged after that period, they will wake up after a short 0.1 second wake up delay, meaning the target will always sleep for at least 0.3 seconds and up to a maximum of 3 seconds. However, damage over time effects will not wake sleeping enemies. Sleep Dagger starts with a cooldown of 26 seconds and scales with spirit power, improving its damage by 2.6 as well as the wake up time by 0.003 seconds for every point of spirit. The latter allows you to damage slept enemies longer before they can retaliate. Fully upgraded, Sleep Dagger removes 1 stamina bar from enemies upon waking up. Its cooldown is reduced to 14 seconds, as well as lowering the stamina recovery of targets by 60% for 6 seconds, and it reduces the target's bullet resistance by 12% and their fire rate by 40% for the same duration. Let's now take a look at Haze's second ability, Smoke Bomb. After activation, Haze takes 1.5 seconds to fade away, then becomes completely invisible to enemies more than 18 meters away. While cloaked, she gains a 2 meters per second movement speed bonus, and Haze can stay invisible for up to 8 seconds. Enemies within 18 meters can still see a faint shadow of her, allowing them to track you at close range. This range is visualized by a red circle when being smoked, so make sure to keep enough distance to your enemies if you're sneaking around. When taking damage, Haze is briefly revealed before fading back into invisibility. Haze is able to use items and her Sleep Dagger without breaking stealth, but firing her weapons or using melee attacks will immediately end the invisibility. Smoke Bomb has a cooldown of 30 seconds, and its invisibility duration scales with spirit power, granting Haze an additional 0.18 seconds of stealth for every point of spirit. With all upgrades, the invisibility sprint speed bonus is increased to 7 meters per second. Haze gains plus 10% bullet lifesteal for 8 seconds after her invisibility ends, and the ability can hold charges and provides you with 0.5 seconds of invincibility when activating Smoke Bomb. This enables you to dodge a lot of damage or crucial enemy spells if timed right, making this ability extra powerful when fully upgraded. Moving on to Haze's third and passive ability, Fixation. Once unlocked, every bullet that hits an enemy applies 1 stack of Fixation to them, or 2 stacks if it's a headshot. Each stack causes Haze to deal an additional 0.2 bonus weapon damage to that specific target for 6 seconds, and the duration is refreshed with each new application of Fixation. On a single target, Haze can accumulate up to 40 stacks at a time, granting her an additional 8 bonus weapon damage against that specific target when fully stacked. After unlocking all upgrades, every time you accumulate 20 stacks of Fixation on a target, Haze deals a burst of 60 spirit damage to them and applies a 15% movement slow for 2 seconds. This damage scales with spirit power, increasing it by 0.37 for every point of spirit. Additionally, the maximum number of stacks is increased to 80, the duration of the debuff is extended to 11 seconds, and the bonus weapon damage per stack is improved to 0.32. allowing for up to 25.6 bonus weapon damage against a fully stacked target. And finally, let's explore her ultimate ability, Bullet Dance. When cast, Haze enters a flurry, automatically firing her weapons with perfect accuracy and plus 6 bonus damage at her enemies within a 15 meter radius for 3 seconds. If multiple enemies are within range, Haze will cycle through them one by one, continuously attacking each target in sequence throughout the ability's duration. During Bullet Dance, she also gains a 35% fire rate increase and moves at a consistent 4 meters per second. She also applies Fixation and any other on-hit debuffs just as she would when firing her weapons normally. This allows her to trigger effects such as Toxic Bullets or Silencer, making the ability effective not just for damage, but also for spreading status effects across multiple targets. Haze can also use active items during Bullet Dance, for example Warpstone or Unstoppable, allowing her to reposition or avoid crowd control while continuing her assault. After Bullet Dance ends, the ability goes on a 150-second cooldown and its duration scales with Spirit Power, extending it by 0.06 seconds for every point of Spirit. With all upgrades, the bonus damage is increased to plus 10, the cooldown is reduced to 100 seconds, and Haze gains plus 60% bullet evasion while improving her movement speed during Bullet Dance to 7 meters per second. If you'd like to dive deeper, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss our in-depth Haze guide when it drops, as well as our next hero showcase. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a Ko-fi or become a YouTube member. It really helps us in our efforts to make these videos for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. And Haze gains plus 60% bullet evasion while improving her movement speeds during Bullet Dance to 7 seconds per meters. What the f***?